One thing I don't talk a lot about is the fact that I grew up in a family where my father was a pastor and minister of the gospel in the Christian faith. And you might be like, what is this all about? I'm talking about leadership. And the reason that I'm talking about leadership specifically is because it stemmed literally 30 minutes ago as I was just kind of thinking and pondering about my father. And he's recently started a church. And I've become a student of leadership in the fact that I look at people that I respect, and I look at their leadership style, and then I look at other individuals who are leaders and lead people, but do so in a very detrimental way. And I try to ask myself, like, obviously I'm trying to pick from the people who I want to emulate, and then I want to shed or reject the ideology of leadership that create leaders, but not necessarily do not allow the followers to get to a positive place. And as I look at my father, and I've seen throughout my entire childhood, the ability for him to lead other individuals is not through force. It's not through even charisma. It is a matter of service, and it's a matter of giving. And I saw that my whole childhood. We moved 25 plus times before I moved out when I was like 18, 20 years old. We moved all over the country, and he is pastor and ministering and trying to help people. And we didn't have a lot of money, mostly due to the fact because he just spent his whole life giving to other people. And he still continues to do that today, unselfishly, never thinking about himself, and has the purest of intentions when trying to give and help other people. Very humble and never looking for any sort of pat on the back or reward for how much he pours out for other individuals. And so that's a leader that I look to. I'm like, hey, that's why people want to follow. That is why people would look at that and want to learn and gain from that. And so I also though have to look at other individuals and leaders like Putin and individuals like Hitler and say, look, they were leaders. People followed them. Therefore, they were leaders in the sense of they were out in front leading somebody. Why? How did they do that? How did they become leaders? So I started thinking about all these things, and literally in the past 20, 30 minutes came up with this diagram, and I want to share it with you. All right, so this is the diagram that I created, and I think it is an extremely effective way of, in my mind, demonstrating the different levels of leadership. And I'm sure there's people have much better diagrams of this and better steps than I have here. And there's probably like 50 different steps of leadership and ways to lead individuals. But this is what came to my mind just a few minutes ago. Okay, so first and foremost, the number one way you can lead other individuals is through force. This is where you get slavery. This is why you get wars. This is why you get dictatorships, is you force people into doing things. And you look at wars that have been started against the will of the people, but because of a dictator that forced them and basically said, if you do not do this, you will be killed. And then that's leadership at a political level. You can look inside of a family though. It's like, look, I can ask a child to do something, or I can force them to do it. And they're probably going to hate me in 10 years. They're probably going to reject the ideologies, the beliefs that I put on them if I force them. And my leadership is a form of force. That's the most surface level, in my opinion, of leadership. Again, there's probably better ways of explaining this. This is what just came to my mind. And the reason I put it on the outside is because this is the vast majority of leadership is actually through force. Not just physical force, there's emotional force, psychological force, and we force our children to go through certain school. Like you start kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. We force them to go through many of those systems, and we wonder why they hate it. We wonder why they don't want to go to school. If an individual, a parent, for example, forces their child to believe a certain way, whether it be religion or economics and money or relationships, and they force them to do something, there's a really good chance they're going to get that individual to follow them. They're going to lead them for so long. But force is always a short-term form of leadership. Always. When you look at our businesses, you can force employees to do things, but you're probably not going to keep them around very long. They're going to leave. No one wants to be forced. No one wants to follow a leader that is forcing them to do something. The next way to have leadership is this next circle inside of here. All right. And this is positional authority. Positional authority. All right. Now, this is where you say, as a parent, again, I'll use the parent in the business analogy. As a parent, you say, you will go to bed because I am your mom. I am your dad. You will listen to me. You use a position to then dictate that you are the leader. And the only reason you're the leader is because you have positional authority. An employee says, well, why is it done this a certain way? You say, well, I'm the boss. I'll tell you what to do. I'm the boss. I'm your manager. I'm the one that hired you. If you have to use positional authority, again, it's better than forcing someone to do something, but it's still not ideal. It's the next layer of leadership. And this is what is so often used in so many different types of business, management, politics, etc. In the military, positional authority is actually very useful and is used very frequently because it's a hierarchy. Right? You have generals and you have captains and you have lieutenants. All of that hierarchy is created so that everyone's very clear in terms of leadership, positional authority, who has authority over the next rank is through that hierarchy, positional authority, okay? That's the next layer of leadership. And we could spend an hour on every single one of these. And I wrote a whole bunch of notes. Maybe one day I'll go into. If you like this kind of content, if you want me to go really deep on each one of these, comment down below. I'm just starting to get more confident in actually sharing some of my thoughts that are a little bit more philosophical about business and leadership. So if you like this type of content, let me know in the comments, because I'll try to do more. If not, I won't. Okay, next step. The next thing that gets closer to what, in my opinion, is the heart of leadership. In my opinion, the center point, the bullseye, is the heart of leadership. But the next layer that is used in the form of leadership is passion. Oh, I messed that up. But the next stage of leadership is incentive. Okay? And this is where most employees live. Most of them live here. Right? You don't force your employees. You don't tell them, you have to listen to me because I'm the boss. But the reason they actually listen to you and they follow after you as being the leader is simply because of you will get ice cream. That's an incentive-based form of leadership. They will listen to you. They will follow the actions you are telling them to do because of incentive. And so you've got to ask yourself, okay, great. I'm not forcing them. I'm not telling them I'm the boss but now I'm just giving them an incentive. I'm giving them a reward in order for them to follow the actions that I want them to take. This is, again, every single stage of organization and leadership this follows and applies to. In your business, yes, you can give bonuses. You can give incentive bonuses. You can pay for performance. You can have profit sharing. You can incentivize people to do certain things in your business. But at the end of the day, you still have not reached the heart of leadership. And it's not to say that this or this is bad. It's not to say that incentive-based compensation or giving bonuses based upon certain behaviors or giving a paycheck, because at the end of the day, the reason you show up to work is because of incentives. You need a paycheck. Okay? So that's a form of why someone would ever listen to you as the employer is because you pay their bills. You pay their paycheck. That is an incentive-based form of leadership. They know that they work 40 hours. If they work 80 hours, whatever it is, they're going to get a paycheck. Therefore, they will listen to you as long as they get an incentive. All right. Now, if that incentive is removed or that incentive is put in jeopardy or you don't give them an increase in a certain incentive that they want, they potentially will leave if this is as deep as you go. At the end of the day, the goal of every leader should be try to get to the center point and the heart of leadership. The next stage, getting closer to the heart of leadership, is passion. All right? And again, none of these are wrong or bad, but my goal as a leader is always to get as close to the center as possible. We're not there yet. Right now we're talking about passion. And a leader can have passion, and that is why people follow them. They enjoy a certain thing. All right? The reason your employees might come and follow your industry, your business, is because they're passionate about the product and service you create. Maybe the leader is passionate about a certain thing, and because of their passion, because they're a good speaker, because they're good with people, because they are enthusiastic and they have a lot of energy and passion for what they're talking about, they can actually bring people to come follow them, and they become a leader because they're so passionate about the subject, the topic, the industry, the business, the product, the service, and because they're passionate, people will follow. All right? This is like, a child that loves math. Just for example, if they're passionate about it, it doesn't take you don't need to force them into doing it. You don't need to tell them, I'm your mom, you need to do your math. You don't need to incentivize them to do their math. Why? Because they're passionate about their math. They love it. And if you can find a leader that has passion and is so passionate, that people will rally around passion. People will rally around someone that can get excited about the thing that they're the common goal they're trying to go towards. If someone can be passionate about that, that's amazing. They can become a leader to that extent. But in my opinion, the center, the heart of leadership, this is the golden goose. This is the pyramid. This is where you want to get to. The top of the pyramid is vision. Okay, and I think this word is like completely overused. But at the end of the day, the most effective leader is someone who has a vision, and that vision is what gets people to follow. Not because they're charismatic and passionate and they love the product and service, because guess what? There's gonna be things in your business you don't love. There's gonna be things in your family, your relationships, your organization that you aren't passionate about. But yet you'll still need to be a good leader in that stand. That you'll still need to get people to follow you into battle, even though you're not passionate about that specific thing. However, the vision will carry them through the times when they aren't passionate, when they aren't being incentivized, and when there's no positional authority telling them what to do. That is the greatest form of leadership. And what I have to ask myself is, when I am trying to get an organization, my business, a family, whatever I'm trying to do, and I am considered the leader in that role, is it just because I'm forcing people into doing something? Is it because I'm the boss? Because I'm the head honcho? Because I'm the positional authority of that organization, family unit, church unit, business unit? Is it just because I'm at the top of the hierarchy? Is it just because I'm the general and I make the calls and I make the shots and that's why people listen to me? Is it because they're being incentivized? Because I'm giving them money, I'm giving them a paycheck, I'm giving them bribes, I'm telling them that if they do X, I'll give them Y? Is it because I'm just passionate? Because I can get in front of a camera and talk? Because I have great ideas of, and I'm passionate about my ideas and I can be enthused and excited and I can scream and I can shout? None of that will stand the test of time. It will not stand the storms and the winds of the economy, of psychological, physical, emotional issues that will come in a person's life. But what will carry an organization is when a leader can have a vision that others can rally around. And that vision can last and live beyond the lifespan of the leader. Because in every one of these passion, incentive, positional authority, force, it requires the leader to be there. And so then at the end of the day, the person that leads with vision and creates a vision that will outlast them has to be very, very humble. Because if you're going to use force, if you're going to use positional authority, have incentive structures, be passionate, it's all based on the leader and it all hinges on the leader being there and being out in front and being the one that's passionate and pushing and inspiring. But a vision can outlast and outlive the leader. But the reason most people will not get to the center and lead with heart and vision is because they're so proud of their ability to force other individuals, have a position in any organization, the ability to incentivize people, or because they're so wrapped up in their own ego and their own emotions and their own passion, and they fail to realize that the deepest way to lead an individual is setting a vision, setting a goal, setting a target, and making it so incredibly appealing that someone is willing to continue going through hell, even when they're not passionate about it, because the goal is worth achieving. If you run a business and this speaks to you and you want to become a better leader in your business, watch this video here where I talk about why employees are not wanting to work for you. This is the one reason why people struggle to find people to follow their vision and get employees in their business. Check it out here. Seriously? A train?